Tanya, first of all, a warm welcome to you on Filme Shilmy and congratulations on a suitable boy. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. I am very well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Now, A Suitable Boy is, I believe, it's your second television series. So, how did this opportunity come about for you? Was it quite a challenging process to get the role?
I wouldn't say it was particularly challenging since I had no expectations. So for me, it was relatively easy because I went in with an open mind, like, Anna, you're not going to get it. It's just you're having fun with it. But it was really good. So I was actually working as a copywriter, and I had no plans of acting after I after I graduated, and I wanted to find a stable job, do my thing, find my routine, find what I'm meant for. So I started copywriting, and then this friend of mine from my college theatre society, he called me up to ask me to audition for a big project, and he just kept repeating the same thing. Tanya, it's for something big. Like, but you have to tell me what is it for. And then he finally told me that it is for a suitable boy. And I obviously had heard a lot about the novel, but I did not know that it was being adapted into a TV series. And my best friend is a big fan of the novel. I hadn't read the book at the time. So I told her that I got this call to audition, and she went like all haywire. She's like, you have to be Lata. I know what Lata is like. I'll help you, and you have to get the role now. And then I went for the audition with Dilip Shankar sir. I met him the first time I went, and I was going straight from my office. So I was really tired, and Dilip sir was so sweet. He was like, "You're tired, I see that. So do you want to do it some other time?" And I was so grateful. I was like, "Yeah, please, please, please. I don't want to blow this up." And then I went into audition the next week, and then he told me that it's going to take some time to hear back from them. So I'll let you know. And then he called me and he told me that Mira Di wanted to interview me over Skype. So I was like, okay, Mira Nair wants to talk to me, and then he specified that still don't have any expectations. Okay, there are a lot of people auditioning, and I understood that, but it was just an honor to be talking to Mira Nair, and I had that interview, and then she told me that she wanted to audition me in person. So she was going to be coming to Delhi the next month, and I went to audition for that. And then, after not hearing from them for a very long while, she called me to tell me that I am Lata Mehra. And I was just over the moon. It's like, I did
Wow.
it.
No, it's wonderful to hear that. And I think it's almost like a dream come true, isn't it? Really, I mean, with the way you've described it. I mean, obviously, being
Yeah.
quite an anticipated and international series. What were your expectations before doing it, and how, if at all, have those hopes changed?
Um, well, I personally love reading books. So, and when I saw that enthusiasm and that craze in my best friend that I got selected for the part, I understood that a lot of others shared that excitement and that joy that, oh, their favorite book is being adapted into a TV series. So that, oh, I felt like I suddenly took up this immense amount of pressure that, oh my God, people are going to be expecting a lot from me now. So I had to make myself comfortable with the thought that I can't really please everybody. I might not be able to even please my best friend, and she might be very disappointed with how I portray her. But as long as I felt like I did justice to the character, as long as I felt like I gave my director what she wanted, I felt like I'd be okay. I mean, everybody would do things differently. I am aware of that, but you can't really always criticize somebody for doing thing their thing a particular way because they had that opportunity and it was up to them whatever they wanted to do. So I feel like if I could do justice to Lata the way I saw her and the way I felt about her, then I did my part. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this people receive her with an open heart and just give her so much love because she deserves it. And I'm talking
Oh.
about Lata, not myself.
Well, I think you deserve it too as well, equally. But like you mentioned, and I know you kind of said that, your friend was very adamant on helping you with sort of portraying the character as well. But obviously,
Yeah.
when you're essaying a book character, it's never easy. especially when it's a fictional character as well. So what was the reference point for you as an actor to play Lata?
I mean, I started reading the novel and I had this huge guide to help me where I could see, I mean, Vikram sir has written her so beautifully. Like Lata, in the very first like part of it, had me feel so many things that I did not feel during the test, like the scene that I performed. I just saw Lata as this in a certain like with a certain perspective. But when I started reading the book, I understood that there's so much more to her. Like she's got this passion, she has got so much love, she's got this heart that beats so wildly, and she's just got this energy and she's bubbling with life. And I wanted to bring that out about her because people definitely, I feel like people tend to see Lata as this young girl who's dominated by her mother and is always listening to what others want for her. But no, that is not what Lata is about. Lata is like all heart and soul and passion and fire. And I wanted people to see that because this journey is all about Lata finding her own voice and just coming to terms with what she wants. And I feel like Lata goes for whatever she wants with all heart, and like she goes head first. Like she does not think about what others might think of it, and she just goes for it. And I feel like that is such a brave thing to do, to put yourself in a situation where you might fail, where you might be rejected, and yet trying to pick yourself up from there and doing it all over again. So I had like so much admiration for her. Like she had my respect. Like wow, you go, girl. So I
Definitely.
wanted I yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely empowering. That's for sure. I mean, I've not read the book, but from the synopsis that I've heard about the series, definitely it does definitely seem like a very empowering character. I mean, even the whole
Yeah.
forbidden love as well, part of with Ishan's character as well. I think it's quite interesting. I mean, we were just talking about how like how Tabu and Ishan's chemistry looks so sizzling. So it's very interesting to
Yeah.
see that. But Tanya, I kind of wanted to talk to you as well because web and television content is more popular than ever due to the pandemic as well. So how much of a blessing are these platforms for fresh talents like yourself who's sort of having their breakthrough performances? So how much of a blessing is it to have a platform like the OTT and like television right now?
I mean, I feel like it couldn't have been better timing than this. I was really excited because I knew that it was coming on BBC One, but I knew that they would have to release it in India as well on some OTT platform. And I was really hoping that we could like get Netflix or Amazon because I personally am binging on Netflix shows right now, and so is my family. Like people who had no idea about what Netflix was, they're like just going through shows at a crazy speed right now. And I feel like this is it. Like it couldn't have been better. You see such different faces. I've been watching all these shows and I like recently I watched Bulbul and I saw Tripti and it was amazing. And like I hadn't seen Laila Majnu before that, but I saw her in Bulbul and I went back to Laila Majnu. And that is how I mean, Laila Majnu was released in theaters in India, but I still haven't seen that. But I saw Tripti through Netflix, and I felt like wow, this is what you needed. This is what like new faces, fresh faces like us need, where people all across the globe have access to you, not just like in a particular hall in India. Okay, like because people forget about those things. You can always go back to Netflix, like and all these OTT platforms, and relive those moments, the first time that you saw them, and you invite them in that case.
No, definitely. And it's very interesting as well because it almost seems like the audience is a lot harsher towards newcomers when they're sort of making their entrance on the big screen rather than on the OTT platform. I mean, I've had this conversation with Avinash
Yeah.
so many times as well. Why do you think that is the case? And how do you think that can change in particular, Tanya?
I don't understand why that is the case, or I would rather not speak about it. But I mean, there is a certain baggage that comes with putting yourself out in the world for everybody to criticize you, and you have to accept whatever comes your way. So I feel like I don't know why people have this attitude where I don't want to get into this, but
Yeah,
you're used to certain faces
I get what you mean.
and you expect, right? So you expect certain faces, and I don't understand, right, the outside, but I feel like it's changing a lot now, because in India especially, after there have been a lot of things and a lot of things have been brought to light, and I feel like outsiders are being much more welcome into the community now. And it's all about like finding a rhythm, finding a pace, and finding what you're good at. And I feel like audience would certainly, they may take some time warming up to you, but they do. And when they do, it's great, it's absolutely wonderful, because that, as an artist, it is the audience's appreciation that you're going for. And when they see how much you've put into it, and they see your heart, and how you, and they see like just how much you really want to do justice to the character you're playing, I
Mm.
feel like then it's a whole different journey.
No,
And that is
definitely.
when things seem worth it.
Indeed, indeed, very well put as well. But I think also, Tanya, there's often that notion that an actor is only successful if they've made a mark on international projects, or like if they've sort of ventured out into the West and sort of doing work out
Yeah.
there. I mean, would you agree or disagree with this whole remark? I mean, what, according to you, defines
I
success?
I do not agree with that at all. I mean, as harsh as it may sound, but uh, you have to find your own domain, and you have to find what you're good at. And you can't, I mean, not everybody has the opportunity to work in a Wes Anderson film or do some American show, and that is never the defining factor for me personally. I feel like in Bollywood also, the mainstream cinema is not mainstream anymore. And I see how much we've evolved and what a long journey it has been. And I really I'm amazed by the talent and the faces that we have in Bollywood now, and the stories that are being shown, and how the characters are being portrayed, because it's much more than just those love stories, and much more than just simple,
Mass
Bollywood
balance.
drama. It is,
Yeah.
yeah, it is about everyday people. And I feel like that is what you want as an audience, something to relate to, something that thrills you. It might, okay, I'm
Yeah.
yes, the Western, like, walking into that is a whole other, I feel like, it's a different thing.
Sure.
You can't really compare
Of
with
course.
what Bollywood has to offer.
No, 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 of
And
course. Yeah. I get what you mean though. I think it's basically it's great that obviously, we have names like yourself
yeah,
and of course other great names as well in the industry that have forayed onto the West as well. But it's not the be all and end all of career.
exactly,
That's it. And I completely
exactly.
get that sentiment. Breaking through obviously a tough industry like entertainment is never easy. And obviously it requires a lot of patience and a lot of thick skin as well. So what would be your
Hmm.
mantra to succeed as an actor?
As you said, you really, really do require a lot of patience. But apart from that, just stay humble, just stay grounded. Do not let things get to you. I mean, after Flames happened, even though I'm not a person who sets their expectations really high, I sort of expected that I would be getting a lot of calls, maybe I'm doing something good with my life. But then nothing happened for a very long time. And this industry can be really, really harsh. I mean, for this, in this one particular instance, I won't name the casting agency, but I like rejected a role that they offered me, and this lady just went crazy on the phone, and I was literally in tears. I was crying over the phone, and I couldn't say anything. There was nothing coming out of my mouth, and I do not know how to handle that, because it's really, really new, and I did not expect people to be this harsh. But anyway, I had my sister intervene, and then she took care of the situation. So
Oh,
I haven't really ever been that person who stood up for what she wants, but I'm learning that it's okay to say no to certain things, and it's okay to want certain things the way you would want to do that, because at the end of the day, it's your face that's going out in the world, and it'll be you who will be criticized for things. So it's okay to take things at your own pace, and it's okay to wait.
mm,
So just
exactly.
have a thick skin, definitely, but also appreciate the good things that come your ways. Surround yourself with good people, surround yourself with good energy, and you will find your way. It's going to take time, but it's going to be worth it.
Yes, no, definitely. So I believe you're a graduate in English literature. So, what prompted you to pursue acting, in
Yes.
particular?
So I come from a joint family, and I have sort of been the black sheep of my family because I all my like my siblings have been uh, we all was like science students, and my father had like high hopes for me to become an interior designer and an engineer. But I wanted to study literature. I felt like that was my calling. I grew up with books, and I felt like if I can't do that, then I won't be able to do anything with my life. And so literature and theater are like really closely interlinked, and I mean there is no theater without literature. So that's how I stumbled into my college's theater society, and it was actually a challenge that I took up from my sister. She said that because I am a very like shy person when it comes to mingling with other people, I don't really put myself out there. So she said that, you know what, if you get into this society and you get through the auditions, then we'll see. I mean, you can quit acting forever. You don't have, you can do whatever you want. And I was like, okay, just on a whim, I was like, okay, you know what? I am going to get into the society and then I will leave it. Because it was just to like prove her wrong that I did it. But when I got into the society, I really enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed the company I had. I found people who thought like, who had a mindset that resembled mine, and like thoughts. We could talk about so many random things and just have great conversation. So I stayed on, and then I got the lead for street play. And after that, I mean, things went downhill again, and I had to quit acting. Like I had to quit theater from my society. But and then I wasn't expecting anything when Flames happened, because somebody in the theater circuit saw me performing and they wanted me to audition for Ishita, the female lead in the series. And then I went to audition again, and it was just an on and off thing for me with acting.
Oh, interesting. That's very, very interesting. As they say, good things happen when you least expect them to happen, right? So, I think
Exactly.
that's a testament of your life. After A Suitable Boy, what sort of roles are you particularly keen in exploring, and why?
Um, since I have relatively no experience at all, I would want to explore so much more than. I mean, I have played the good girl, the shy girl. I would want to explore something bold and something just more out there, you know. So I'm definitely open to exploring so much more right now. Maybe something dark, maybe something funny, because I don't know if I'm really funny at all. So I would want to explore things that I haven't really like found to become myself to be comfortable in. So yeah, just doing that.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of like an extension of the last questions that I just asked. But obviously, like you said, there was always like you had that phase where you talked about the casting director and stuff like that, and you were least expecting to get A Suitable Boy, but then it happened to you. And I know you're not one to kind of hope or expect a lot of things as well, but what is it? What would you like to see in your career? I mean, once A Suitable Boy happens and once people have given their reception, what would you like to see in your career? What do you hope to achieve as an actor, in your career?
Uh, yeah, I would want people to see me as an actor who's more than. I feel like people tend to see your face and people tend to dismiss the effort that went into it. And I feel like that's a little heartbreaking, because when Flames happened, I would always get compliments like, oh, your eyes are really pretty, your smile is really nice, but never anything about my acting. And my sister would always tell me, my sister has been my biggest support, and she would always tell me that you're more than just a pretty face. And I want people to see me for the skills that I have, and because my appearances have nothing to do with me. I mean, this is
Yeah.
all thanks to Ma and Papa. But I would, I, I would want to work on my craft, and I would want to polish and hone my skills and just explore so much more. And I want people to see me as the character that I play and not just my face. And I want them to take me more seriously now,
Well,
because I, yeah, so it is very easy to dismiss somebody just because they're pretty, or maybe they're not pretty. So I heard this remark someday that people, like actors who are beautiful are never good actors. And that really rattled me. I was like, how can you even say that?
I
But
remember. Yeah,
it,
I.
you do, right? And it's like, what do you even mean by that? That is never the case. because this is an industry obviously where your face and your looks really do matter, but what you're bringing at the end to the character, to the screen, to the plot, that should be valued more than what you see at the surface level. So there's so much more to a person than their physical appearances.
No, exactly. And I think this whole like conversation about banning like Fair and Lovely creams and sort of changing
Yeah,
our definition of what we perceive as glamour, because essentially beauty is in
exactly.
the eyes of the beholder, right? So I think, do you think such
Exactly.
so do you think such conversations should sort of happen more prominently and will help us to kind of eradicate that whole materialistic view of what we see as beauty and what we see as actors? Do you think such conversations are more important as well?
Yes, definitely, definitely. Because I feel like the more hushed you say about things, the more power they have over you. So let them be out in the open and let the world see things for as they are, and not just have this, mindset about things in a certain way. And I feel like this is very important about Lata's character as well. She's never really defined as physically beautiful, or like somebody who's just really stunning or
Hoor
glamorous
Pari.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, hoor ki pari. She's never defined as that, but there is this beauty and there's this confidence to her, and she exudes such charm because of her personality and just because of how effortless she is. And I
Yeah.
want people to value that over anything else.
Mm.
So
And
yeah,
it's
I
quite
mean that we definitely need more conversations like these.
For sure, and it's really interesting as well because you and Ishan essentially began with international projects, sort of Hindi,
Hmm.
sort of Indian, sort of like international Indian international projects as well. So you two must have really been able to kind of relate with each other as well, especially in terms of the vision, in terms of the craft as well. What was your experience like working with everyone actually? Because you were surrounded by so many great actors. I mean, it must have been quite
Yeah.
overwhelming, but yet eye-opening for you. What was your experience like?
Yes, yes, definitely. I mean, I was in the very beginning really intimidated by all the names that kept popping up, like, oh, Tabuji is also here, oh, Ishan Khatter is going to be a part of this. But no, I got over it and I started. I mean, this is something that we also have to consider, that I grew up watching these people on screen. So for me, there was always this mystique to them. But, and I feel like as an audience member, you tend to be so starstruck that you fail to see them as normal human beings, and you have this persona of them in your head, and you just put them on this pedestal, and everything is about them is then for the world to criticize and to be so harsh about. But you refuse to see that they're just another human being who are putting themselves out there for you to see, but you have to consider that they may be flawed in some way. And I feel like working with this wonderful cast taught me so much about myself, and uh, just how wonderful people are. I mean, it's not about the profession at all. And people, when I was growing up, my family has this mindset around Bollywood that it's a taboo, that you don't talk about this industry because you don't know what's going on there. They do all these things and they're not people that you can relate to. But
Mm,
that's not true. They're just human beings. They're very simple human beings trying to do their job, what they're paid for, and just make the best of what they are getting. So I like working with them was wonderful because they are they're professionals in their craft and they're so good at it, and there's so much you can learn from them, and everybody was so willing to teach you and so willing to learn from you, because I obviously had zero to like no experience at all in being in front of the camera. So they were just always willing to teach you and always willing to help you and listen to you, and very supportive and understanding of how you may perceive things. And they might have differing opinions, but it's always good to have somebody that you can talk to, that you can discuss things with, rather than have a closed mindset about, oh, this is the right way because this is my way. That was never the case for anybody on the team, with be it Mira Di, be it any of the cast members, be it the team. It was really, really nice because it opened my heart so much, and I love these people so much because it seems like a family working together and looking out for each other. So
yeah.
yeah.
No, I know. And I think now we will all be looking out for the show, which obviously airs, I believe, on Sunday on BBC One here in UK.
Yes,
And I believe it will also be releasing on Netflix as well in India, right? As well? Oh,
yes.
wow. Fantastic. But oh my God, Tanya, I think this was very, very special. I think it's such a privilege to have you on Filme Shilmy. And, it's great to see actors like yourself getting a platform to sort of really display your talent. So, again, a huge congratulations to you on A Suitable Boy and wishing you all the very best for future projects as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Thank you for having me. It was really, really nice talking to you.
It was lovely talking to you too, Tanya. Thank you.
Thank you.